Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, got a little bit different video for you. I'm going to walk you through what I pack when I go to my local Nerf war down in Cincinnati. That's Kane. Yeah, I figured I'd take you along for the ride, kind of show you some of the things, the blasters I take, and then my kind of packing solution. Yeah, it's a little bit of a longer form video, but we're going to see if we can get it all packed in here. I am packing for two, myself and then my oldest son Eli is going to go with me. And yeah, so we are going to go ahead and go through all the blasters, the equipment, the gear, cameras. We take cameras and stuff like that with us. So first and foremost, we start with our case. This is a newer branded case. I use this for my videography business, my wedding videography business, to carry things like tripods, lights, monopods, cables, cords, you name it, it goes into this box. Some audio equipment goes in the front pouch. It's got rollers and a handle on the top here, so it rolls nicely. It's also got like kind of the traditional carrying case like this. It's got these giant pocket right here, which is sewn down the center, so there's one, not just one pocket, but two individuals, and you can access those there. It comes with these kind of dividers, which you can use to kind of divide things up. I use these to kind of separate some of the blasters out, so things aren't like kind of jumbling around. And then it also comes with this larger case kind of cover that you can sit on top. And it works out really nice. I typically will use this as kind of like a shelf. So like I'll charge my batteries and stuff like that throughout the day by using these as kind of like stands, and then this kind of sits on top. And then if I need to get to something, that's where trouble happens, because I need to basically lift this up and pull it forward and then grab what I want and then bring this back. But it works out. It's nice because it's got a nice stiff kind of, I think it's probably some type of like core, like cardboard, probably not cardboard, but like plastic insert. It's got a little bit of padding, but it's a nice kind of tabletop for getting things charged and kind of laying stuff out, filling magazines, putting darts, in storage and stuff like that. So that's this case. If it was just me going, I probably would switch to kind of like more of like a rifle, like a traditional firearm case. It gives a little bit more protection. It's a little more customizable. But when I'm traveling with my son, we typically take two primary blasters each, just in case one fails, we can switch to the other one. He's taking a pump action striker and a electronical Mark III, so that way if his arms get tired throughout the day, he can switch to his Mark III or whatever. So this is a little bit bigger solution, not quite as secure or like padded, but we're hopefully going to make that a little bit easier to swallow with these. These are just tablecloths. They're not real fluffy or real padded, but it's just nice because it adds a little bit extra layer between all the blasters, so they're not banging up against each other and stuff like that, and things aren't getting broken and stuff. So I usually kind of double it up so it's the height of the actual case itself, and then just kind of work in the corners just like that, and then we'll go ahead and put our first couple blasters in, and yeah. So we'll go ahead and start with his. Like I said, he's going to be using the Mark III. It's just AA batteries, no LiPo or anything like that. He's only 12, so I really don't want him responsible for that. And this just gives me peace of mind that it's not going to explode in his room. And yeah, he's not going to damage it. He's just got the included covert ops laser point on here. We're gonna actually have to put new batteries in it because he left it on, hence why he won't use the LiPo. But yeah, this is a nice little blaster. We're just gonna go ahead and, actually, you know what, we're gonna take this off because this fits just a little bit nicer, and then we'll put this inside this little pocket here for now. So we've got that, and then we've got his upgraded striker, sporting a Pinty red dot scope or red dot sight. he really likes this one. I had to talk him into bringing the Mark III because I was like, look, dude, we're going to be playing for about 4 hours straight. You're probably going to want an electric blaster just to give yourself a break. So put those 2 blasters down, and then we'll go ahead and pull the curtain over top of them just like that, and then kind of tuck it in around them. Just give it a little extra padding. And I've got them kind of spaced out a little bit, so we've got one tucked this way, one tucked this way. So next up, I will be taking my Tryon. It's got, again, a Pinty scope, a little bit different one. I left my battery on here because it's secure, it's not going to fall off. Typically what I'll do is I will unplug the battery or anything like that, so the cables are loose, they're not getting kind of bunched up and ruining the ports or the actual cable ends themselves. The other thing that I'm going to take off is my selfie cam mount. This just sticks out way too much for me, and it just causes a little bit of a headache. So we'll go ahead and put that in there, and that's not very flat. So let's try it this way. No, yeah, we're just gonna go this way with it. We're kind of learning together. So we'll leave it like that. We'll take this and we'll just stick it in with my son's sight, and for later. Let's go ahead and cover that up like that. And see, I kind of see I can just go back and forth. So then we just kind of tuck it in, and this will be the last kind of go for that what you call it, tablecloth. I do have another one if we really needed it, but it's this one seems to be doing pretty well. We've got enough kind of in there. So, and next up we are taking for myself my unicorn. This is my upgraded unicorn. Video on that coming soon. Again, Pinty scope, red dot. I've left the battery on there. I've taken off the actual plug that goes to my camera. Take the camera off because it's a little bit more fragile than I feel comfortable putting in here. And then I've got my light, which I took the press button off of here and put on like kind of like the traditional kind of click one. So there's not like cords hanging out. So we've got that. We're gonna try and see where best this is gonna fit. We're gonna try and get it down. Let's try and get it down here because this is the bottom and we don't want it kind of falling. It's probably gonna be best just like that. Yep, there we go. So then we took the stock off. We'll just kind of stick the stock up here underneath the barrel of the tripod. The Tryon kind of sticks out right there. So we'll just tuck that in there. I've also taken out, here's a couple of different baggies in here. We've got the light switch I told you about with the cable. Taking that off. And then I've got the 2 included spacers for the Tryon, and then the 1.5 3D printed one that I put together. And then also in here I've got the upgraded spring for my unicorn, so I can test that out. All the spare O-rings and things like that that you could ever want are in here. Yeah, so just some extra parts. Since it's a newer blaster, I haven't really used it yet, added Nerf war yet. I wanted to make sure that I had some replacement parts, so if something happens, I can still use it. So I'm gonna go ahead and take that. We'll put it in this front pouch here. And then last up, I am going to take a full auto Nightingale. This is an upgraded kind of cosmetic kit that I put together. We've got a brand new muzzle with a top Picatinny rail, and then also a new bottom kind of trigger guard with some Picatinny rail there. I also went ahead and changed out the color of the battery door so it matches my Tryon. I feel like it did pretty good as far as matching goes. I did paint it in with a gloss coat or semi-gloss coat, and I think it darkened it up just a little too much, so it doesn't quite match. But more info on that coming soon. I'm gonna have a video on that coming soon for you guys. The other thing that I'm kind of working on here is a kind of mini holster idea for a pistol this size. So that's something I'm working on, and that's kind of in beta testing. So make sure we're no batteries and it's off. This one, let's do this. Let's put that right there. And we are going to use this extra. We're going to stick this around the unicorn. Give us a little bit extra padding, kind of fill up the space a little bit. We'll go around the nightingale. Kind of tuck it in just like that. There we go. There. Not too bad. Just kind of tuck it in. Just nice and tucked. Some of the things that also you can use these for is to kind of keep things secure. So they've got Velcro lock and loop on each side here, and then the whole interior of this case is kind of the loop side of things. So you can kind of like pad things down. This will keep things kind of in place. So I've got the front of the unicorn's right here. So what I'll do is kind of angle this one in a way that it keeps that blaster from shifting up or shifting down, and then this will keep it from like kind of rattling in place. So it's just like that. And then we'll put another one right here just over top of the barrel of the Tryon. We don't want anything heavy kind of falling on it and then kind of bending the barrel. That would be very bad. But we do have some space down here for some stuff, so we'll keep building there. All right, so some of the other stuff that we take, obviously we're gonna need magazines. So my son, he uses the blue Talon magazines. He's got 6 of them. And we typically will put them in this front pouch, just kind of all the way across. It just makes it easy to find them, and then it keeps them kind of out of the way. And they kind of just fit vertically almost perfect. We could just kind of slap them in there, but I'll try to be a little organized with it and see if we can keep them upright. And then I'm using the black ones. I too have 6. So it looks like we fit 9 across there. Not too bad. And obviously they're going to shift forward, but it is what it is. And then I've got 3 Nightingale magazines. I'll just kind of stick those right next to it. And then a 3D printed Nightingale magazine that is a 8-rounder, but I can get 5 in there reliably. I'm gonna test that out as kind of my starting magazine because it won't stick out in the blaster. So while it's holstered, I don't have like this magazine that's sticking out. One of the things I was running into in the last couple Nerf wars was I'd have that blaster holstered and I'd be running around inside of the arena, and if I bumped into or backed into a wall, the magazine would split. The bottom of it would split open and the spring would go flying, all the darts would go flying. It just was bad. So having a smaller magazine, yes, I'm losing a few extra darts, in my initial, run or whatever. But this will at least let me lose that kind of fear of bumping into something and then pulling my Nightingale. It's like, oh, there's no darts. So this way I can at least have a couple darts to shoot at somebody. So that is the magazine kind of well there. And then next up, eye protection, definitely need it. Our local war is 200 FPS for the majority of the day. Sometimes they run special one-off events where you're just doing stock Elite 2.0 or whatever. We don't participate in that because we don't have we don't take those blasters with us. We have a very limited amount of space. So but yeah, so we definitely need eye pro. So those will go in this front pouch here. And then we take some darts with us. So we are taking Worker Gen 3 Plus darts. Those go in this case. As far as other gear is concerned, we do take some equipment. I've got a screwdriver set with a whole bunch of different bits to help us fix any issues or anything like that we might run into. That's going to go in this front pouch. And then likewise, this is kind of like my emergency kit. This is actually going to change because I want something a little bit more robust. But this basically, I've got a couple of different baggies in here. This small baggie has two bits in it for our magnetic chargers. One is a USB-C, which goes my 360 camera to a USB battery bank in my vest. And then the other one is a USB, just a regular USB bit that goes to my Tryon, to my selfie cam. I also got a whole whack ton of Allen keys and stuff like that, just a wide range of it. Some duplicates in there, so I can always give some out if someone needs one. A kind of tiny screwdriver, and then some extra bits and an extra kind of electrical or a magnetic cable. And then the tool to remove it. What I would like to increase this to is kind of like an admin pouch for my actual vest, and have things like super glue, kind of medic stuff, or band-aids and things like that. That way I have some stuff on me, so if we're doing kind of like an HVZ event, I've got that right there. Things like that, extra, an actual screwdriver set, an actual Allen key set, that would be nice to have in there. But just like a small admin pouch that can house some of that extra stuff, and get rid of that one. So that's that. Let's see here. The other thing we take, this is a case, camera case that is chock full of a whole bunch of goodies. So what we're going to actually do is we're going to close this up, and I'll show you guys kind of what's in there. So I'm almost positive we're not really going to fit much else in here. We might fit a couple other things. We'll see. So this just zips up, heavy duty zipper. We're going to zip up the side pouch here, and you got like this extra strap here you can Velcro close, and you can carry it by this. All right, so this is kind of like our camera and electronical tote here. So we open it up. This is chock full. You'll have to watch this in reverse to see how I packed it, because it is just full of stuff. So we've got our baggie of various charging cables. This is for phones, some of the cables for like on the Unicorn and things like that. This is also what we use to charge the GoPro batteries while we're playing. We have a couple different batteries that we swap out. So this is our baggie of goodies for there. Let's start over here. So we've got, here's our, this is our new camera for our Unicorn. Testing this out. See how it works. We'll find out. This is a 2-lens camera. This is a motorcycle camera. People will mount this on their helmets, so they have a view like kind of in front of them as well as a view from behind them. So this will be in the upgrade video for the Unicorn. We've got that in there. Custom made lens covers, because it didn't come with any, and I didn't feel very good spending $100 or whatever on a camera setup and not having lens covers. I don't know what that's about. We've got our 360 camera with one of 2 lenses. So this is our kind of third-person camera setup. This will go on. I'll show you the pole here in a little bit. This kind of sits up behind me, my back right, giving you like a third-person view kind of thing. I really enjoy it. It looks really cool on in edit and stuff like that. Just a really interesting view. So we've got that, and then we have an extra lens cover just in case this one gets damaged. Having another one as a backup is great. Really just kind of saves the footage and stuff like that. We've got a whack ton of extra battery banks. One of these I use to charge this while I use it when that battery dies. Typically that'll last me all day, so these probably won't be completely necessary for this event, but I just bring them anyway just in case. This is the same battery that I have on my Unicorn, so if that one goes bad, I've got a backup here, and then just one to charge phones. The other thing that we're going to try this event is live streaming. So the network Wi-Fi adapter that I will carry with me will be plugged into this on my back, so that will always be charged. I've got 4 cameras. These are just kind of knockoff GoPro cameras. We got one selfie camera for me, then one for my head mount, and then I've got one for my son Eli for his head mount, and then one extra one. My brother will typically use this for his head mount. We've got a huge battery bank. This is what we charge phones off of, what we charge extra batteries for the GoPros, anything. We've got 4 ports here, and it's yeah, it's a what is this? 26,000 milliamp hour battery bank. Love that thing. It's something I use with my wedding videography business, and it's a lifesaver. We have 2 of the charging ports for the GoPro batteries. These just have USB plugs that can plug right into the battery, so that will charge batteries as we need. And then whack ton of these little batteries for the GoPros themselves, so those will be charged, ready to go. I also carry my run cam in its case because I haven't found a better solution yet. Just my scope cam that goes on my Tryon. No lens cover. I don't understand that. I'll have to print one for that. So we got that. And then I'm also this time going to take my my chronograph. One of the reasons is I want to double check my chronograph versus someone else's. So the club has their own chronograph there. It's a different brand. So basically what I'll end up doing is turn this on, put it in front of my blaster, and then shoot through their chronograph and see if the numbers are close. Close counts in my opinion, but if they're off by like 10, 15 FPS, I know there's probably something wrong with mine. I'm assuming the club has theirs set up perfectly. Even though I factory reset this several times, I still want to double check it. So all this stuff fits in here, yeah, it's just, actually we can go ahead and just slide this stuff back together and you can see it in real time. That goes there, batteries go down there, chargers go on top of that. We've got our 4 cameras. Probably can't see it because my fat head's in the way. Got a couple extra batteries. Actually, I think these go here. That, and voila. So that's kind of our charging port. Now we do have I do take a couple lipos for the Nightingale. Those will carry in a separate case, and those will be with us in the cab so that they're in a climate controlled area while we transport, rather than almost all this stuff goes in the trunk. So that's that. Next up is a little tote. This is something we'll probably end up taking apart and throwing some of these in the actual rolling case. We just got our head mounts with the GoPro mounts on there, so there's 3 of them there. There's a couple other mounts and stuff like that, but we really don't end up using any of those. So what will probably end up happening is this tote will stay here, and these 3 will get stuffed in the rolling cart's pocket. Next up is our kind of gear. We'll go over Eli's first. His is pretty much straight standard. He's got a tactical vest. We've got magazine pouches here in the front. You can hold 6 Talon mags in the front there. Super easy. They're just double stacked in front of them. It's nice because when you're wearing it, you can put the ones in the front down a little bit, and so the ones in the back are a little bit closer to your chest, and you can reach those out easier. So we got that. He has a dump pouch in here. This is where he stores his sling for his various blasters. He just got 1 sling. This works for both of these blasters he's taking. It just goes in the dump pouch when we travel. The dump pouch really is for spent magazines. You can get them back in here after you use them, but it's a lot easier just to mag eject, drop it in your drop pouch, and then grab a new one. If you got a few seconds to slide it in here, that's more secure than a dump pouch, obviously. But being able to carry like MacGuffins, extra ammo. Sometimes we play a game variant where there's kind of like an NPC that if he tags you, you lose all your lives and you're out of the game. And the only way to really interact with that person is having a larger ammo like a Mega or a Mega XL. So carrying a bunch of those to kind of stun that individual makes it easy to carry them in there. So that's what he uses that for. He doesn't have anything on the back. He does have his little Eli Chew, nice little Eli Chew patch here. 3D printed that for him and painted that up. kind of proud of that. Turned out really good. Check out his channel, Eli Chew EX, the YouTube channel. Yeah, so that's his. My setup's a little bit more involved because I use a couple different blasters and a couple different features. So let's do this. All right, so as far as mine goes, let's talk about the vest first, because that's usually the most important thing. So vest on the front, same setup as him, got the same pouch. Mine goes up a little bit higher because I like mine a little bit higher up on my chest. Same pouches, same kind of setup here. I do not have a dump pouch on my vest. What I do have though is a little bit more interesting on the back. I have this nice little battery pouch and little 3D printed part here on the bottom. And what this is for is this tripod pole. I've kind of disassembled it and left the 3/8 or quarter or whatever screw hole this is. And this basically will fit down this molly. And I know I'm not going weaving in and out like I should, but just for argument's sake. And then it fits down in this 3D print just like that. And it's tight enough that it'll keep it secure. It's also locked into the molly, which is awesome. And again, this just gives me where that camera sits right over my shoulder. And the cool thing is I can adjust this, so I can take it out of the thing here. And I can take this off, and I can move it up a couple notches. So if I want to go up a couple, and then it just kind of, again, just fits right down in there. And then it puts the camera just a couple inches higher. It's amazing what a couple inches will do too. So there's that. And then I also have this little pouch here that I store this cord. This is basically for that kind of cylinder battery. Once the battery gets low enough in like 360 camera, if I'm playing like all day, I can put that battery in here, and then this is that cable that will go from here and then wrap up the cable or up the pole here, and then plug into the USB-C port on the side. Got a couple tie wraps, one wrapped around there, and then a couple here to make sure that the cable is nice and tight against that pole. I don't typically use this unless I'm playing all day. The battery will probably last me as long as I need it to tomorrow. So yeah, I'm not too worried about this, but I do keep this the cord in here just so it stays tucked away and it doesn't get lost and I don't forget it. So that's the vest. Pretty straightforward, nothing too fancy. It's actually a pretty cheap vest. I will be looking to upgrade this eventually, but for now it works great. Next up, we'll go over my belt. This has changed a little bit, and you'll see why. So I took off my holster for my Nightingale. That was on my right side. I still kept my 3 pouch from Worker for Nightingale magazine, so those will go on like my back. And then my dump pouch is on my left side. So any spent magazines, if I'm in a hurry, I can drop them in there, carry things, stuff. Same thing with Eli. Then I store my my sling that gets stored in there, and then this is kind of my stock mount for my, was going on my Tryon, but I've kind of adjusted it a little bit, so now I just use a single point on that. This I'll use for my Unicorn, since there's not a sling mount for some reason. So that is that. And then my newest addition to my kit, or my loadout rather, is this thigh drop pouch molly thing. So it's got this nice Velcro belt loop, so it's really easy to kind of attach to your belt, and then it also has a belt buckle, so you can leave that on your belt and take this off, which is just nice if you're taking a break. You don't have to take the whole thing apart, and then you don't have to worry about putting the whole thing back on, even though it's quite literally just 2 pieces of Velcro. But you know, if once you get it in the right spot, you really don't, you know, you're kind of used to it. You don't want it moving around. So what this does is, I should have left the Nightingale out so I could show you, but I didn't. Wow, that was terrible. So what this does is, this is kind of like a knockoff of the holster system, all 3D printed. It's got a couple magnets in there. but I was looking for something a little bit slimmer, a little bit lower profile than what the holster, the actual holster does offer. This is still in like alpha testing. I haven't really worn it to a war yet, so between this week, tomorrow coming up, and then next weekend at the family one, this one will get a lot of use. We'll see how it goes. I have a feeling I'm gonna have to beef up the magnets in there just a little bit, but preliminary testing in the office seems to be working just fine. Then I've got two extra mag pouch connector here for the Nightingales, which reminds me, since I got 3 on my belt, I should probably grab 2 more to put in my pocket here to maximize my carrying capacity. But this will go on my right thigh. You've got 2 straps that go around. It's nice because the one side does have a little bit of give with some elastic, and then it's got this kind of rubber textured material woven in, so it kind of grips to your thigh a lot better. So you just buckle those together around your thigh, and you have a nice little pouch that's you know, you've got a Molly, you could put anything you want on here that's Molly compatible. So this is a lot of fun. So it worked out really, really well. So some of this stuff will be able to fit inside of the case. Probably not the vests; those will probably have to go in separately. But like these belts and the Molly drop pouch will probably fit just fine. So anyway, guys, other than that, the only other thing that I usually will bring is my camera, just to get some really cool shots, some good video and things like that. I do need to get some good intro video for my unicorn for the beginning of gameplay. So I plan on releasing gameplay footage. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you guys get subscribed to the channel. I really do appreciate it. Leave a comment down below if you like my loadout, if you like the carrying solution, what you would change. Obviously, it's not the most secure when it comes to you know, traveling with them, but it's what I've got. So yeah, we'll talk to you guys later. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.